This is John for MTG Nexus here, coming at you with some Boros, in air quotes, prowess. As a friendly reminder, if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, and if you're here on Twitch, please consider giving us a follow, and if you really like this content, please consider subbing here on Twitch. So, trying to get back to the older streaming times as much as I can here. This is a Boros Prowess list by Fingers 1991 in one of the recent modern prelims. This kind of harkens back to the old Lurrus lists before the weakening of the companion mechanic. And you're based on a red list with some white sideboard cards, basically, and access to Lurrus. You have the Prowess shell of Swiftspear and Soulscar Mage, along with the Abbot of Carol Keep build and Kiln Fiend. So you're a little bit more of the aggressive version, a little less of the grinding version, and then you're leveraging things like Lightning Bolt, Lava Spike, Lava Dart, and Crash Through to try to deal as much damage as possible. Seal of Fire and Mishra's Bauble both add to your prowess triggers, as well as giving you some leverage with your Lurrus of the Dream Den. Manamorphose is here to kind of tie it all together. No light up the stages or any of that kind of stuff. So you're just kind of a clean, low to the ground kind of deck. 18 lands. I sometimes think that's one too few in these decks, but you know, I'm no prowess expert by any means. And then the sideboards, you know, Soul Guide Lantern's pretty good in a format full of any type of graveyard shenanigans, but especially Urza. Path to Exiles give you some play against bigger creatures like Tarmogoyf and Death Shadows, Gurmag Anglers, and the like. Core Firewalkers for the red mirrors. Shrine of Burning Rage, pretty good in some spots where you're grinding and playing a little bit longer games. And then Wear Terror gives you some outs to Chalice of the Void, which is still inevitably a problem for these style of decks. So, a little bit different than Burn, a little bit different than traditional Prowess. You're not like leveraging things like Bedlam Reveler or anything. You're more sticking to a little bit more streamlined, trying to get the game over with while still having a little bit of late game with access to Lurrus and Baubles and such. So, been a minute since I investigated this particular style of thing, so we'll see how it goes. Obviously, last night we did the historic stream. Haven't gotten those videos up yet on the historic channel. Been kind of a long day. Alright, we're on the play, which is exactly where we want to be. Wow. 3 lands is a bit more than we want, but I still think with a Soulscar Mage we can't turn down this hand, especially on the play. So, gonna fetch a Sacred Foundry here, so we have access to double white for Lurrus at some later point, should it come to that. Obviously this hand is somewhat weak to a removal spell right off the bat. Fortunately, we're playing against blue-white, so it looks like we're going to get at least one crack in with things. So here we have the option of bobbling ourselves, give us a little bit more information if we want to crack a fetch land. Mishra's Bauble. Sure, I guess why not, right? Give us more triggers this turn without spending mana. Still get to kind of do the same thing. Manamorphose. What are the odds our opponent kept a hand without Path to Exile? Guess in the end, Manamorphose is kind of free, so let's go ahead and Lava Dart them. It's possible we're supposed to hit them with a Lava Spike while they have no mana up, but really want to hit another threat more than anything else. But at this point it might actually be too late for additional threats. Wow. Kept a 3-lander, draw a couple more lands. Seems like where we want to be. Alright, if they have path, cool. If they don't, are they dead? Don't think quite. Of course they have the path. Why wouldn't they, right? Why wouldn't they immediately Field of Ruin here? I don't... Like, even if you're holding up interaction, why are you not fielding or ruining that? Like, you know I just blew most of my load trying to kill you, so... Don't know if I completely agree with my opponent's play here. Yeah. Alright. Another land. No reason to jam Luris into a bunch of open mana here, likely Cryptic Command or any number of other counter spells. Interesting to see if they have a third color or if the Arid Mesa is just kind of a smokescreen. Okay, they have a third color. Jeskai is probably even worse for us than traditional blue-white. One point of damage could end up mattering, but at the same time, I really don't want to let them increase their clock, force us to take actions before we really want to. Like, we're rapidly approaching the point where we're going to have to take game actions with this Luris. Yep. And they could still be chilling on something like Lightning Helix. How many Field of Runes are they running? Okay. Luris is officially a bait spell. They have Logic Knot? Delightful. Let's go for the play line we have. Do you have the Helix or not? Magic is a weird game sometimes. Shrines, burn the lanterns. Yeah, we don't want the lanterns, but what cards are going out here? Metamorphose feels like a bad stand-in, especially in the Ether Gust matchup. Really don't want to get time walked in that regard. Shivalava Spike, I guess. Like, obviously Metamorphose pairs terrifically with Shrine, but like... Sand doesn't have one drop per se. Obviously we have Seal of Fire, but it is plenty powerful enough. Hello, beautiful. Master Swift Spear, just about what we wanted here. Has not. So Lightning Bolt, perhaps? So jamming Kiln Fiend feels like the right thing here, but, you know. I think we just want to add more pressure to the battlefield as much as possible. Gonna get Ether Gusted, Mana Leaked, sure. No. a feeling basically anything we cast this turn was being mana leaked. The fact that they had to shock in probably means they're a little light on lands. Doesn't appear that they have... Alright, so I think... Do we lead on Abbott here or Killing Fiend? I guess Abbott, since it seems likely they might have a Supreme Verdict with the way they've been playing. Seems like a really bizarre time to opt. Put the... Do the bold here. Really seems like they're light on... So what is the red for? We legitimately haven't seen a red card out of them yet. Force them to use the Path to Exile. All right, go ahead. Okay. Okay. Four, five, six. Looking for a bolt or something here. That is not really what we were looking for. But it'll do. If we just had one more land, we could have Luris plus Seal of Fire that turn. Taking care of the Jace. It could be a Miracles deck with the configuration they're showing us. Pressure on the Jace here. Just do this so they can't have Logic Knot here as their card. It's the card we saw out of them game 1. Of course it's Logic Knot. Or Mana Leak. So frustrating. Could have played around that one too. Okay. Sure. Okay. Seems like a pretty good one to rip. Play out Soulscar. Last turn. Opponent has 2 cards. Yep. Okay, so they bricked. Nice. Their opponent chump if they want to here. No sense in risking getting blown out here. That's our last fetchable here. I really hate flooding out sometimes. What on earth is this? Shark Typhoon. Much different of this a game would this have been if we wouldn't have walked our Luris into a freaking mana leak. Could draw a random card from our deck, but I think exiling their graveyard might have been better. Feels like we're at the long shot window here. Our deck doesn't have a lot of hasty threats, and they don't have a lot of burn, so... That said, we're only a couple points of burn away, so... Unless they draw timely reinforcements or something. I wonder if they're out of fetchable basics. Certainly possible. Alright, this is probably getting countered. Or we just have a kill spell for it. Well, they're just going to bounce it. Sure. This is where blue-white control is just like... or even this slightly Jeskai Control deck is just so ponderous and boring. Like, yeah, you control the game, but it's like... You actually have to win the game at some point, right? Okay. Oh, they do have Mystic Sanctuary in their pile of Jeskai nonsense. Okay. I'm getting back Opt. Sure. Large Shark Typhoon. Okay. How many bolts are they actually running? We've only seen one so far. Which just seems bizarre. Okay. I wonder if our opponent's trying to make us die of boredom here. Seems like a likely strategy. They have Bolt, we're dead anyway, so no sense in killing these guys. Feels like they have Bolt. Lightning Bolt? Oh no, they have Helix. Alright. So we still don't know how many bolts or whatever our opponent has. We know they at least have some number of Snapcaster Mages and some number of Mystic Sanctuaries. So the Soul Guide Lanterns are probably correct. Showing them shrines, kind of whatever. They are on a really, really old version of Jeskai, it looks like, other than the fact that they have Shark Typhoon and Mystic Sanctuary. I just can't imagine that that's particularly well positioned in the meta right now, but definitely fetching Sacred Foundry. You know, our late total is somewhat in jeopardy against the Jeskai deck, but, you know, they also have Pass and Field of Ruins and, you know, all that kind of crap that we really want to so no matter what we do here, it's going to resolve. Crash Through is a rather nice card. We'll just crash through this turn. Could you wait to use that against something like Timely Reinforcements, but I think I'm much more interested in maximizing the damage we get in this turn before they can have any type of counterspell or other interaction nonsense. Opt, sure. Puts card on bottom. Let's go ahead and Surgical Extraction. Okay. That's interesting. Wow, they kept a really, really ballsy hand. So do I, if I'm reading for Mana Leak or Mana Leak or any of that nonsense, either Mana Leak or Ether Gust, because they have to have something here, right? I was going to go to combat instead of casting anything. No, I don't want to lead on Lava Dart. I actually want to lead on Bolt because of the Surgical Extraction that we saw. Hopefully they try to play like a Naked Snapcaster Mage. Wow, they're mana leaking Lightning Bolt. Sure. That is a bold strategy, Cotton. That is a bold strategy. Land would be a great draw. Okay, or Lava Spike is also accepted. Who's going to blink first? Alright. 40-minute marathon for match number 1. Jeskai Control, along with its cousin Blue-White, shortening lives since 1996. Be right back in 1 second. I'm gonna go stretch my legs. Nothing quite says I hate my life like playing against old-fashioned blue-white control. Yeah, maybe that's one of the things I should be thankful for about Europiles being in the format. Is like, at least when you know you have a 6/6 thing that when it enters the battlefield is gaining your opponent 3 life, or whenever it's attacking you it gains them 3 life, you at least know the game's over. Like, blue-white control is just like, my lord, what are you doing? Illyris Mirror. Interesting. Okay, so... Okay. So we're saying we're probably skewered here. Need to bobble them, or bobble ourselves, because we really need to find lands. Because Kiln Fiend plus Crash Through is like our ticket to win this game. We have Griffspoon, kind of whatever. Alright, there's a second land. Alright, so what do we have for this matchup? Oh wait, it's Boggles. We have 2 Air Terrors, that's about it. Sure. So I know we're delaying playing our Kiln Fiends here, which could be fatal for us. Actually, do I attack here? Probably. We know they have Griffspoon, so it's really not a whole lot of sense to hold back here. Ethereal Armor would be bad. Griffspoon's kind of whatever. Sure. That should enable us to kill them here, right? Just kill whichever creature they block. Woo! Nice to steal game one against Boggles, but like I said, it always gets harder. Bagel, Boggle, Bogle, Boggles. Alright, so bring in the wear tears. Path would only be good against specifically Core Spirit Dancer. Shrine is bad in the face of Leyline, but it is a way to scale damage. What do we shave here? Just like 2 copies of Lava Spike since it can't target a creature. And kind of go from there. Alright, this hand isn't exciting, but I think it's reasonable enough. Positive thing about Prowess is that it's more creature-based in this style of matchup, which means we're less shut down by something like Leyline. The negative thing about Prowess is we then have to attack through their very large lifelinking blockers. So, there are positives and negatives to this deck in the Boggles matchup. Sure, Glade Covered Scout doing Glade Covered Scout things. Might be the only damage we get in all game, so I suppose we should enjoy it. Sure, Path Exile. Okay, that complicates things. Okay, they have a second land, sure. Force them to hold up Path Exile mana here. Shock and path this. Yep. Problem is if they have whatchamacallit, the game's pretty much over here. Another slippery bogle, sure. That is very interesting. See if they bite. I think I'm okay making this trade. Really would love to see a crash through next turn. I can see the game. Wow. And we would have hit the crash through too. Crazy. Yeah, if you told me I was going to beat freaking Boggles and Jeskai Control as my 2-match wins so far, I'd probably tell you you were insane. Just doesn't seem like something that would happen. Sure, fucking luck. It's fine. It's not like super exciting, but I think it's fine. We're going to be doing a lot of damage to ourselves, being the main. Deck plays Leyline of Sanctity main. Boggles again? Yeah, looks like it. Alright, well. Probably going to brick on this, but we do need to get more bodies on the battlefield, so. Yep. Alright, well, let's hope to get a little bit lucky and handle a spike of land here. Nice, nice. Alright, hopefully they don't have a form of life gain. Yeah, kind of hard to beat Daybreak Coronet. That's your basic mountain. Play crash through first. So yeah, we're not being the life-linking, first striking, trampling, vigilancing, big dumb idiot. 3, 4, 4, 3. So say they block here, we get through for 10. Yeah. Boggles gonna bogle. Still don't think we changed much here. Main deck ley lines are just kind of a cherry on top for them, right? Like, I guess it's between main deck ley line and playing Luris. Alright. Sounds okay, not like terribly exciting. Sure. It's got a bogle. So we wanted to draw another land. Play the Kiln Fiend. Okay. So the only thing that sucks about our opponent's draw is the fact they've had to double shock. Sure. Probably holding up path here would be my guess. Has to be path, right? Nope, nothing. Okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Oh, so annoying, right? So if they do actually have path here, we're in a lot of trouble. Somewhat, I guess. Do that. Wear tear. Now that's a magic card. I think we're committed to this line this turn, though, so let's go ahead and swing for the fences here. Not quite sure why they didn't use the path last turn, but, you know. How are you doing tonight, Lucarian? You enjoying the slog fest? Sure. Alright, there's a bauble. Let's see what we got going on here. Wooded foothills. That really doesn't change the math here, does it much? See how our opponent blocks. Sure and sure. Wow. That's pretty good. So are you in 7:30 in the morning? So Europe somewhere? Last turn. Another wear tear. Gotcha. I'm an idiot. I should have put Luris in my hand there. Oh my lord, Spartan. So far I've played Boggles, and Jeskai Control. That has been my evening so far. Germany. Nice, Lucarian. Several of my ancestors are from Germany. My grandfather on my mother's side was a Lind, Otto Jack. So obviously he was... this hand is tempting. Problem is, we're facing a 7-card Boggles hand. So, don't know. This is a blank if they have a ley line. That's a blank if they have a ley line. Sort of. I think we keep it regardless. Oh, they don't have a ley line. Okay. So in other words, their hand's really freaking good. Gotcha. And our hand is going to be painful as heck. So, yay, painful mana base. No, I don't think they misclick. They probably have a good hand. They keep a one-lander? Wow. You're really gonna get that lucky? Oh. What is it with this Dryad Arbor, man? Why do you keep Dryad Arbor against the Lava Spike deck? Or Lava Dart deck, I mean. So they're drawing Daybreak Coronet, so if they have another white source, we are skewered. Two, three. Guess we forced them into a situation here to weaken their creature. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, because they still leave the, Alright, so they're going to 6, and then they're gaining a bunch of life, and then we die. Cool. It was a fun game. It's kind of funny though, you can tell the difference between like relatively good Boggles players and like people that are just playing Boggles because it's a meta deck. Like, yeah, it's really sad with Boggles that you don't, like, 2-0 every red deck you play. Like, if your deck isn't 2-0ing every red deck you play, like, not to call out Sergeant McMuffins here, but, you know, if you're not 2-0ing your red opponents, why are you playing Boggles? Like, the deck is trash in the meta right now. It's been trash for months, years. Sounds fine. Unfortunately, we're on the draw, which kind of sucks. But I think a reasonable enough hand. This is one of the downsides of also playing Lurrus, is like your opponent gets to hone in on the cards that beat you. Because there's only like 2 or 3 decks in the meta that play Lurrus. One of which is Prowess / Burn. Then you have Boggles, and then Devoted Druid sometimes plays it, depending on their setup. And Mill can play it. Oh. Okay. Am I about to get turn 1 Chalice? Okay. Yep. But we are going to get turn 3 Tron, which isn't great for us. I do have a personal beef with Tron lately because I have been losing to it a ton lately. Both variants. Doesn't particularly matter. I've been losing to it with Prowess and Burn, the green variant even, which should be a good matchup, yet isn't. Still don't know if we're up against Eldrazi Tron or G-Tron. I think there's a lot of different things going on with Magic right now, and I don't know how I feel about any of them, honestly. Like, I really feel like that new LD spell might be a little too pushed. And like, where was that LD spell when Field of Ruin was ruining like every bloody format in the sun? I mean, like, it's a balanced card. Like, you can trip, your opponent gets a land as long as they're playing basics. It's like a reasonable LD spell, but at the same time, it's just like, wait, what? Okay. Cracking map. I still don't... The problem is we still don't know if they're Green Tron or E-Tron. I'm guessing by the pathetic plays, probably Green Tron. Because I think we would have been chaliced on a 6-card hand from Eldrazi Tron. Guess we'll find out. If they play Matter Shaper, then we know they're on E-Tron. Right. Oh, nope, they're on Green Tron. Okay. At least Lucarian, with the cards they're pushing in these sets, you know, at least it's like removal spells and LD that like returns a land to your opponent, and you know, at least they're pushing things that aren't like Oko and Uro and Veil of Summer, and you know, at least there are drawbacks to these cards, you know? I think we're going to try to manage the kill here. Alright, these are the kind of stuff that can lead to a win. It's possible I was supposed to play this Sunbaked Canyon so we could cantrip potentially. That's kind of what I was afraid of here. Bolt does 5. So 6, 8, 11, 12, 13. Into Mirror Burn. Oh, that meme that almost won some matches. Oh my lord. Just debating if I'm supposed to run or play Abbott here. Because, like, our opponent can get tower, hold up. Now, obviously, if we spike, like, Mishra's Bobble, I look like a genius, but I think we're going to hit a spell or land we can't cast, so... Or crash through would have been nice, but... C'est la vie. Tower. What can you play for 5 mana that we care about here? Feels like this was a misstep. It feels like they were supposed to leave up Blast Zone this turn. I guess Walking Ballista would be something that could be annoying here. Nope. Okay. Don't know that I'm... Okay, Karn doesn't do anything here, though. Like, I guess you animate your Chromatic Sphere? Try to stay alive that way? I really feel like this turn was supposed to be get tower, hold up Blast Zone, or crack Blast Zone right away. Okay, sure. Yeah. Feels like if this was their line that they should have held up Blast Zone this turn. Only kills lands with Karn. Hey, you never know. I mean, to be fair, they did mull to 6. So... Yeah, he also could have animated Sphere, which is kind of... I don't know. So we don't actually have a ton for this matchup, but I suppose that's because in theory this is supposed to be a reasonable matchup, although if you look at my recent records against Green Tron, it's been pretty pathetic. I might want 2 Pass and 2 Wear Tears. Question is, what do I cut? Seal of Fire seems a little slow in the face of what's going on. And then... possible I don't even want the paths. Maybe I just want the 2 Wear Tears. Yeah, they might run the Goyf version, which would be another reason to keep Path in. The only question is, what am I cutting then? 2 lava spikes? Feels like it might be lava spike. Yeah, I've been got by that Goyf deck once or twice. This hand is a mulligan. 4-lander can't keep. Was reminded of that lesson. Oh boy. Well, hello there. Lava spike? Feels like a lava spike goes backhand. Okay. You have map or do you have star? Okay. Okay, what you got here, friend? Foiled Ancient Stirrings. Nice. Okay, there's the mine. If you don't mine, it don't matter. Problem is, obviously, if they have Tron. No, we could very well be dead. Depends on their if they have tower in hand or draw tower. If they draw tower, we are boned. And can we kill them next turn anyway? We might not even be able to kill them next turn. Even if they have nothing, we might not be able to kill them. And they could have Dismember. So there's a lot of things that, like, could happen. So one of the downsides of, like, Prowess is there's not a whole lot of haste in the deck. So if you can, like, answer the board, then, like, it's a bit of a... Okay, never mind. You're right, they're probably dead here. Tower in Trinisphere could also be bad if they boarded that in. Or Ballista could be problematic. Ish. Sphere. So I think I lead on Crash Through if we don't hit another mountain. Because I probably want a Lava Dart here. And obviously if they have... Okay, they have nothing. Problem is that Bobble doesn't actually pump the Fiend. Nice. This should be one of the dreaded turn 3 kills then. So, do this. Do that. Love dirt you. Lava dirt you. Looks like they were dead without the second mountain anyway, but math. Maths for blockers, as I've heard a few streamers say. Feels nice to get a win over Tron. I know that sounds retarded, but you know, it's one of those situations where I haven't had the best of luck against Tron lately, so we is happy. Alright, final match in this league. Okay. I'll draw, which kind of sucks. We have no lander, which sucks even more. Guess we keep this hand. Put back Lava Spike, I guess. Okay. Jeskai Breach. Feels like a Jeskai Breach to me. Oh dear. Is there Thopter Foundry? So we gotta kill this Emery, huh? Which really kind of sucks. But I can't let them untap with this card, so... Path to Exile. Looks... I don't like Monastery Mentor. I think it's too slow. Myth realized I could get behind more, but I just feel like Mentor is too slow. Give us a burn spell. Well... Ladies and gentlemen, this game is over, unfortunately. Like, I could try to bait them into blocking with Psy. drew Foundry anyway, or they had Foundry the whole time anyway. Alright, let's go ahead and scoop it up here. Much as I like bashing my head against a wall, I've played against that version once, and I was not impressed by it whatsoever. Like, I could see the thought process behind it, but it just seemed... How many cards are we bringing in this matchup? Shrines maybe are too slow, because they probably have Teferi in there. 75. This is mainly to answer Sai, and I would guess they're an Urza deck. This might be a Lava Spike out matchup. Like I said, it seems crazy to board out some of our burn, but it's just like... Their deck is a weird mix of stuff. Try it like that. Four lands, even with a Kiln Fiend. This is a mulligan. Sand seems fine. Probably put back the... Lava Dart for now. Path at least gives us an answer to some of their obnoxious creatures. Generic explosives, sure. But to be honest, Lucarian, without testing it, I wouldn't know. But it just feels too slow. Like, sometimes Kiln Fiend honestly even feels too slow, and it comes down a turn sooner. Now, obviously, they do a little bit different things, but... Like, that'd be a card I'd love to see them unleash on... Historic. I think I missed a point of damage there. I should still kill this Sai regardless. Like, maybe I wasn't supposed to play the Soul Guide Lantern that turn. You have Teferi, things are going to get rough. Yep. It's one of the concerns with Shrine and Burning Rage, is just like a lot of things it doesn't do particularly well, and playing against Teferi is one of them. Sure, there's an Urza. So the opponent's graveyard. So I could get greedy and try to cycle Crash through and hit a land here. But I think I'm just supposed to punk this Urza when we can. Okay. Starting to clock us a little bit, sure. Sure. With one card in hand, hopefully it's not a whir. Core Firewalker, sure, because why not, right? Alright, so the worst thing they could bring back right now is a copy of Path to Exile, which isn't like super exciting anyway. So gains a life, but deals them another point of damage. We just wait to crack till the end of turn. Like, our opponent don't think they play red spells, so like the only card we remotely care about is Teferi Time Raveler answering this. I guess also Cryptic Command could answer it, bounce it, which would be bad. So we want to try to hold up as much mana as we can, and our opponent's just going to like make things easy for us. Okay, 2, 3, 4. Air Terror. So go to 13. Do I put the shields down for a turn and try to put Luris into my hand? I don't think so. I think because as things stand, we have lethal next turn. I'm just going to continue to kind of ride it out here. Yeah, that's a good point, Vishezo. How are you doing tonight? Like, there are still certainly draws that could, like, give us problems here, right? Like, Teferi... Engineered explosive, sure. They're also blowing up their own thing in the process here. Alright, Lava Dart does it. Well, Foundry without a ton of artifacts really isn't like the scariest thing in the world. Like, it might have bought them another turn. Trying to think. Yeah. Yeah, that would certainly be problematic. Urza hit a crazy spin, could have been annoying too. So I don't like having Path to Exile in this kind of matchup. Like, I really hate it. But between Urza and Sai, we really need those answers. Shrine obviously bailed our butts out. Kiln Fiend is so, like, medium on the draw, but we do need the ability to kill them, so it's like, I still think we submit this way. Like, it feels crazy leaving our burn spells in the sideboard, some of our burn spells in the sideboard, but at the same time, it's like, we can't really burn people out with this deck, per se. 4 lands, a mulligan. Or I should say, it's hard to just flat out burn people out with Prowess. This hand's reasonable. What are we putting back here? Feels like a land, right? Like, we want Seal for... I was going to say, why do people do this on the first turn? Like, I don't understand why you skip till your second main phase to play your land. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. Sure. I mean, sometimes it is, but I've seen a lot of people do it. Like, some people do it to try to cheese people into, like, passing through the turn when you're playing against a blue deck. Like, I've seen that, and it's just like, why do that? Like, are you really trying to get that big of an edge by... Oh, I've certainly done it before, too. Kind of hoping this is like Emery again, instead of... If it's Foundry, we're pretty screwed. But it looks like Emery. Talisman. Okay. Into Emery. Okay, that makes sense. Play the Seal. Yeah, I know, but it's such a Like, I'm one of those people that I hate losing or hate winning on clock. Like, I'll do it if my opponent's playing a deliberately, like, grindy, nonsensical deck. Just do that. Get this. Could be getting Urza here, which would kind of suck, but... Foundry would also be rough. Okay, that makes it a little less likely. Timely reinforcements, I guess, would also suck, too. Core Firewalker. Yeah, that's the reason I should have brought in the third path, huh? Because we saw a Firewalker last game. It just wasn't relevant to the outcome. Actually, I've seen a few people succeed with it, doing it. It just feels really cheesy, Bashizo. Like, I guess when you're trying to get those moto bucks, you gotta do every little thing you can, but... Okay. I mean, they could have Cryptic Command here, which would kind of suck, but, you know. Land, please. Instead, we hit another Abbot, which kind of sucks. I guess they could also have Whir here, which would be bad. Like, really bad. Yep, that's a Whir. They have another Mystic Sanctuary? Or they just have Sword, sure. Pretty much. So force them to make a bunch of Thopters, or they just have a counterspell and none of this matters. They have Path too. That's a little rough. So block here, take 6. And if they have path, obviously we're just like completely skewered. I wish Lucarian, I wish they would kill it themselves, but seems unlikely this game. Like, what value does a Thopter have, out of curiosity? Alright, there's the path that we figured they had. Why would they kill a Swift Spear over a Abbot? I guess because they figure Abbot's easier to block with Firewalker? Yeah, it doesn't even seem that's the case. Maybe I wasn't supposed to bobble here. Some idea what they're working with next turn. Another land. That could be bad. That could be really, 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 really bad. Because that's a whir of a whir. Have to try to set up for a kill next turn, which I don't think can happen, especially with another freaking path. Yeah, that's just not gonna happen. Hi. Like, if this Kiln Fiend had haste somehow. So they go to 9 from the fetch. Like, what is even our out here? Gonna say, if they just stay back. Oop. They're taking a gamble here. Not that I think we can particularly punish them, but. Okay, I mean, that might be a way to punch through this thing. And so on a scale of 1 to dead, how dead are we right now? possible I'm supposed to just replay, if I remember correctly, Thopter Foundry says non-token artifact. And I do believe there's an intervening clause of sword. Is there a window where... No, I know it comes back. I'm just saying, is there a window where you can crack Seal of Fire to kill the token that it's trying to come back to attach to? Yeah, I wasn't sure. But even so, their mana is going to be tight. Of course, their last card is Path. I guess we'll find out. Like, Word ties up... Oh, right, sword itself. Yep. I don't think it matters, because I think they're just going to be able to get it back anyway, but... Alright, Path, maybe? Pretty sure we're just dead here. Guess we'll find out about that if clause here in a sec. But the sword itself still comes back even though it doesn't attach. Well, I don't know your qualifications, Vashizo. You know, gotta learn the lessons, right? And this is for a 4-1, so I'm not just gonna, like, give up without trying. So, you know. This was a weird league. Like, Jeskai Control with 2 Bogle decks, a Tron deck, and an Urza Thopter sword. So I think we wound the clock back like 12 to 18 months ago, and I didn't get the memo. I guess a whole bunch of decks that are supposed to beat Prowess, and we still beat 3 of the 4 of them? Question mark? Or 2 of the 4 of them? And then beat Tron, which hasn't been a guarantee for me of late, especially with like blue-red Prowess. But deck seems fine. You know, Like, once again, Core Firewalker. This card very much is for the mirror matches. Burn and Prowess. I could see wanting a third Shrine. I could see wanting another Soul Guide Lantern. Could see wanting more copies of Wear Tear. Main deck feels pretty fine and smooth. Even with 18 lands, didn't feel like we really had too many problems with finding lands and such. Didn't really mislight up the stage at all. So, deck felt pretty clean for what we played against. So can't really complain. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight. Lucarian, Vashizo, I believe Spartan checked in at some point too, I believe. Yeah, Killer Spartan checked in too. So, I want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight. Vashizo, welcome to the party. Lucarian, we'll eventually get to more Dimir Burn, but I think Giga Drowse is good against Tron. I don't know that deck plays enough blue sources for Giga Drowse to be great. So, and the problem with Giga Drowse is it doesn't really stop Force of Negation. But interesting thought process at least. But I'm gonna wrap up the stream here. 2 hours on the Prowess League's kind of rough, but at least we got the 3-2. So if you're new to the stream, please consider giving us a follow. If you like modern content, please consider looking at our YouTube channel. And everybody, have a great night. This has been John for MTG Nexus.